Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You know you're rocking with your boys, Bert, the Hurt, rocking that O-H.
You know what today is, Lanny? This is before it's happening. You guys are going to see this after. We got the big OSU Michigan game today. So by the time you watch this video, we'll see who came out on top of the greatest rivalry.
Yeah, that's right. If you guys wanted the Bucks to win, let us know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up. That's great state up north. Not so much. But guys, we are back for another dividend investing video here on the channel. We're going to talk about something that usually doesn't happen, a stock sale, and then moving those proceeds into a dividend stock buy to add that passive income, to get rid of a stock that didn't match with the strategy of the portfolio, and again, to add that forward dividend income amount.
We are so pumped to talk about what happened here and what Lanny did. But you know, there's something you all got to do. Before we do that, smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. One more thing, everybody. Don't forget to check out that swag shop below. Got a nice Dividend Diplomats coffee mug that I don't have the exact measurements. I'm pretty sure it fits in a stocking for all those people looking for those holiday gifts. All right, but let's hear this, Lanny. Let's get hyped up. Let's get excited because you added a boatload of dividend income by making some simple moves.
I sold a stock, bought a Dividend Aristocrat, guys. For everybody that watched the video, we talked about Medtronic, ticker symbol MDT last week. And we all know that I was trying to make room in the portfolio. And I did mention a certain stock that I may have wanted to exit, towards the tail end of that video. Let's rewind about 2.5 years ago when the pandemic hit. There was a certain airline stock that a bunch of us owned. Bert owned, I owned, and that's Delta. Even good old the Oracle. Warren Buffett owned Delta stock in his investment portfolio. And then about April of 2020, I believe, give or take a few weeks, Warren Buffett dumped Delta Airlines stock. That stock price actually plummeted way down right afterwards. Delta cut their dividend, reduced it down to zero, obviously, because, in an industry when you weren't able to do anything at all, obviously the dividend would hurt the cash flow.
Yeah, the best look isn't getting government bailed out funds to help during a pandemic and then taking those funds and immediately saying, hey, shareholders, here's your dividend with these.
Exactly.
Wouldn't have been a great look.
Wouldn't it have been phenomenal. But yeah, the stock was down in the teens, maybe low 20s. Recently the stock's popped back up to a little bit over $35 a share. Still down year to date, about 12 to 13%. Delta is showing signs of, profitability, showing net income, showing significant revenue growth compared to, very comparable to 2019 pre-pandemic levels as they do in their earnings releases. So it's not that Delta Airlines is a bad company right now. It's not that they're a bad stock for those that want to own that type of stock. But Delta Airlines didn't fit a few criteria. First, being a dividend stock anymore. They haven't been a dividend stock for almost 2.5 years. And I don't see that they're going to be bringing back the dividend anytime soon. Would you agree, Bert?
I would agree. And I think that's the important thing too. We are typically buy and hold investors. We've held some companies that have cut their dividend before. We've held some companies that have suspended their dividend, especially during the pandemic, but there was always hope that they would bring the dividend back. And I think that's a key piece here, Lanny, a reason for why you sold. Something fundamentally changed with the dividend to the point where you just don't feel like you're going to ever get a dividend from Delta. So that doesn't match your portfolio. You're a dividend growth investor.
Now, even though I know Bob Iger is back at Disney and Disney stock, I see some plans possibly in the moderate term for a dividend comeback. Delta just didn't fit my stomach criteria to have in my portfolio. Didn't fit the strategy. Second, hey, there is 63 shares that my wife had in her account, and you do the math, that's over $2,000+ that's earning zero. So that's really anchoring down the dividend portfolio where, I'm trying to get to a certain goal this year. And I'm like, what? This is just dragging down the dividend forward income total. So there's that. Third, important piece is I held Delta for more than 1 year. So it's a long-term position. So any loss that I have on this stock sale, I can use to offset my, income right now. And again, up to, a certain dollar amount per year So I was like, okay, well, that's good. That's from a tax advantage standpoint to sell, just to save some dollars on the taxes as well. So there was a few components that was involved in this stock sale of essentially Delta Airlines stock.
So let's recap that quickly, everybody. Lanny bought Delta a while ago. There was a fundamental change in the stock. They cut their dividend during the pandemic. It didn't look like there was we don't think they're going to pay a dividend in the long term. So doesn't fit the criteria anymore. The added benefit of now Lanny's going to be able to take over $2,000 earning $0 and put that cash to work to grow that passive income. That's huge. And lastly, you're also going to get a hidden benefit of some tax loss harvesting here, a little cherry on top. So all of those make sense, Lanny, which is fantastic. So let's talk about the next move you made, though, because you said you had $2,000 to put to work. You mentioned the company you put it to work. Tell us a little about the move and how much income you added with the move.
You got it, man. You got it, brother. So guys, sold Delta stock, on Wednesday, the 23rd of November, the day before Thanksgiving. I was just getting propped up for Thanksgiving right there. Happy Thanksgiving again to everybody. Hope maybe people are still celebrating this weekend. Hopefully, instead of buying items on Black Friday, you're buying dividend stocks instead. But sold Delta, and then immediately right after that sale occurred, I've ended up buying and added one more share versus just, yeah, I'm sure, Bert, you saw that.
I was getting ready to make a comment if you didn't say anything, so don't worry.
So, I sold Delta, got $2,158 from the Delta proceeds, ended up moving that right into Medtronic, ticker symbol MDT, 44 years of dividend growth, increased the dividend during all the financial crises of the last 40 years that we've had. Going through a rough patch right now with currency translation, obviously the strength of the dollar, supply chain issues, inflation, you name it. So, I feel like this is a dog of the Dividend Aristocrat group, and they've been through a lot of this before. So I know that they'll come out on top, and they increased the dividend 8+% this year during a tough year. So I ended up moving all of it plus one more share into 29 shares of Medtronic, put in $2,247 into Medtronic and added from $0 of Delta to $78.88 in forward income to Medtronic.
So think about that, everybody. Just think about that for a second. That move, Lanny clicked 3 buttons and his income went from 0 to $79 added right there from just doing that simple move from a non-dividend payer to a dividend aristocrat that's on the verge of becoming a dividend king. That is fantastic, Lanny. I love the move. Absolutely love it.
Had a crown, this is all in my wife's portfolio. Her portfolio is really full of probably the most highest quality dividend stocks. And this one, there's probably 1 to 2 more stocks that we continue to clean up in her portfolio. But now she's got an almost dividend king yielding over 3.5% right now, with the PE ratio below 15, with a 50% dividend payout ratio, 44 years again of dividend growth. I just felt this $100 billion company right now, by market cap, is just a much cleaner stock to hold in her dividend stock portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put this in the bucket of a no-brainer dividend stock move, in my opinion. I'm probably going to be making a similar one with it, with a completely different kind of stock. But I think that'll be an article for each. I just got to time the purchase right and when I want to do it. I think another fun piece of this too is you're also adding income in an off month here with Medtronic. Medtronic pays their dividend in January, April, July, and October. Not that drives the decision, but that's a nice little benefit here. You're trying to smooth out for financial freedom, getting income in every single month versus having it all loaded in the third month a quarter. It's hard to find some great companies that pay in that first month. So Medtronic is a nice one. So that's a nice added benefit here. Nearly $20 per month added in the lowest paying month of the quarter.
I didn't even look at that. So appreciate the feedback there, Bert. I know that's pretty cool. And I'll be getting a dividend then in less than 2 months. So that's kind of nice as well.
Yeah, the ex-dividend date is probably going to be the end of December. So you captured the dividend that you're going to get paid in January. Fantastic.
So guys, there we have it. Not done normally. I sold the dividend stock. Again, I think I've done less than 10 in my entire investing career, which spans over 10 plus years. been cleaning it up more so lately. Going through hard times like the pandemic really makes you kind of refocus, realign your dividend stock portfolio. I know Bert can agree with all the other stock sales that he's had recently.
Yeah. And two and a half years out from the pandemic. Now you're really starting to see which companies the dividend cuts were short-term blips, that they're getting back to it now, or which ones are going to have longer term issues and which industries may not recover quickly. And that's just what happened here. Airlines, you're probably not going to be seeing dividends and dividend increases for a long time. So let's just move it. You can reevaluate airlines when that time comes.
Exactly. Now, guys, what did you do with your Delta Airlines stock? Are you still holding on for over 2.5 years since they cut their dividend, since Warren Buffett said sayonara to the Delta Airlines stock? And if you did sell back then, what did you end up buying? Let me know. Let us know in the comments what you think of Medtronic, ticker symbol MDT as well. I know it's a hot dividend aristocrat stock to buy right now. Again, check that video if you haven't already on the dividend stock analysis we did. Bert, what other parting words do you have as well?
I love it. Keep checking our portfolios. Let's see what moves we make. Let's see if I follow suit by pouring something into Medtronic too. We'll find out in a few weeks, everyone.
A little pour from Bert right there, guys. And if you haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 25,000 subscribers. We're less than 10,000 there. Bring it. Get that coffee mug. Get the Dividend Diplomat swag. Thanks for rocking with us. And you're either with us or you're against us. That's Bert, the Hurt, and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.